It's my pleasure as Vice President of ACL to introduce the President, who will address us in a moment. On behalf of all of you here, I'd like to thank Bonnie for her service to the ACL. She's insisted that I be very brief to keep this short, so I won't labour on the considerable grace and tact and energy that she's pursued her duties as President. Instead, simply ask you to please join me in welcoming our President, Bonnie Dorr.
Thank you for that introduction. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. I'd like to start by thanking all the chairs and organizers for doing such a spectacular job of making this conference happen. First, local organizer Chris Brew, right here. You just heard from him. General Chair Kathy McEwen over here. And the program co-chairs Joanna Moore, Simone Teufel, James Allen, and Sadoke Frui. It's truly been a pleasure, and I think everybody will agree that Columbus has proven itself to be a great venue for this event. Well, here we are, and I'm told my job for this evening is to make you all laugh. That's apparently the primary job of the ACL president. Of course, that's not really the case. There are actually additional things the president does, just in case you're wondering. But it is true that the presidential speech is one of the biggies on the list. Now, the expectations for this task have indeed gotten higher each passing year. And we've seen this in the performance of Martha Palmer in Ann Arbor in 2005, about which Jade Suji stated in his 2006 Sydney address, "The bar has been set too high." But Mark Steedman further carried on the strength of this tradition in Prague in 2007. Okay. Now, starting 3 years ago, when I took on this role, my colleagues began approaching me one by one with clear concern in their eyes to ask me, "Doesn't this mean you have to give a funny speech?" I calmly reassured them time and time again that I have 3 years to become funny, then it was 2 years, and then 1, and now here I am, and here are all of you in more ways than one, as you will soon see. As many of you know, I'm an avid supporter of the new ACL Video Archive Initiative, and several have spotted me on numerous occasions using a video camera at various computational linguistics events. I see some of you starting to look pretty nervous in anticipation of the damage I may have done with my video camera. Yes, in fact, several of you do have a role to play in tonight's presidential address. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's first look at what a presidential address entails. From past examples, it's clear that one must actually be trained in techniques to keep the audience awake and entertained, and moreover, that the content of the address must resonate in some way, even if in some odd way, with everyone out there in the audience, from newcomers to those with years of experience in the field. That said, there are two components to tonight's presentation. First, I'll give you a brief glimpse of the types of training that is necessary for all aspects of tonight's presentation. And then second, I'll show you a series of interviews with experts in computational linguistics, CL, and we'll present the results of testing the effectiveness of those interviews in educating newcomers to the field. So, let's start with a video clip that provides a window into all that was involved in my preparation for tonight's presentation.
For years, an organization known as the Association for Computational Linguistics has subjected their annually elected presidents to the painstaking task of coming up with funny and informative speeches. But little is known about all that goes into the humorous presidential presentations that bring the crowd to its knees with laughter. We at WACL decided to investigate the steps that were taken by the current president, Dr. Dorr, at the University of Maryland in preparation for her presidential address in June of 2008.
Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Is this on? I especially would like to thank all my fans. We got good acoustics? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Because Dr. Dorr's speech incorporates video clips, her preparatory training included videography instruction.
A suitable image is obtained of a subject in which the difference in luminance between a bright area and a dark area is very large. The dark area is properly exposed and first image data is obtained. The bright area is properly exposed and the second image data is obtained. This is accomplished using an array of photodiodes. One set of the photodiodes comprising filters.
Professor, will this be on the test?
That's a good shot right there. Becoming a filmmaker is really, really difficult work, you know. I mean, you're in the entertainment business, you know how difficult it is. Hey, you guys are in my shot. You're in my shot. Look at you guys. Pretty much here every day, aren't you? Do you guys want to be in a movie?
No.
What?
No.
Hey, nice hanging out with you, buddy.
She also studied digital video editing.
Just like you would do with your video clips trimming, you can trim audio just as well.
Her presentation also required instruction in conducting interviews.
When doing an interview, there needs to be at least 3 people involved. The person being interviewed, the person doing the interview, and, most importantly, the person running the camcorder. Before you interview a subject, you need to know as much as possible about that subject. You need to read everything anyone has ever written about that subject.
Finally, she honed her rap skills.
This. And then I go.
Of course, practice makes perfect.
Hey, yo, Drew, what's the 411?
Taken together, all of these preparatory activities are what create a presentation that is guaranteed to be laughter-inducing. Or not. Whatever the outcome, audience members gather together each year to hear the ACL presidential speech with increasingly high standards of humor. Despite these standards, the process of getting there is always a rewarding experience for the president.